Good evening, everybody. Happy Easter. It's Roman Rich. Good to see you out there. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're having a fabulous Easter. Thanks for joining me. This is 66 Minutes. I'm your host, Roman Rich. Every week we do this show. This happens to be episode number 8. That's right. 8 straight episodes. I'm on a streak, and I think we're getting pretty good at this. It just happens to be the rule of thumb happens to be like 3 times at doing something, you get good at it. It's more like 8, 9, 10 times for me. It takes me to get good at something. So we're at number 8. So I think we're going to be doing a lot better. So this show is created just to talk about Route 66. We'll talk for about 66 minutes about all sorts of different things. We'll have a special guest tonight. I'll mention who that is just in a little bit. We have live chats. This is a live show, so you're going to see things happen very spontaneously. There's no editing, and feel free to get with your comments and your suggestions and anything else in the chats, because later in the show we'll put you up on the screen and you guys can make sure you see your chats all around the world. So if you'd like, go to our website. We're going to pop that up on a QR code. By the way, we use a lot of QR codes in the show to help get you involved and interactive. You can scan those QR codes. This one above me right here, that one will take you to our Facebook group, 66 Minutes. And I got to tell you, I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff on that Facebook page, the 66 Minutes Facebook page. Some of those submissions that we have going to be going on the show tonight are pulled right from that group. So if you want to get your stuff on the show, put it in that page. We'll see you there. Okay, so just a reminder, this is a weekly show. We do it every Sunday about 7 p.m. We've been promoting the videos now through email. If you'd like to get on that email campaign list, George is going to pop up another QR code here in just a second. You can click on that QR code and you'll get our emails. If you happen to miss one of our shows, that's okay, because we've got them stored on my YouTube channel, which is, I just go to YouTube and click on Hooked on Route 66, and then you can look at all of our past live shows, and you just go under the category live. We also show on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm still not really sure what Twitch is even. It's some sort of a platform for showing videos. I've never watched anything on it before, but we are streaming on Twitch. Maybe one of my viewers out there can enlighten me and tell me what Twitch is all about. That'd be interesting. I'd like to know. We are going to get on Instagram here at some point. We're going to add a few more channels, but we're here every week. Catch us on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, and you'll find us. Again, the QR codes, you're going to see those, scan them every once in a while. So we're trying out a new theme this week. It's Easter, and I thought, well, for this month, let's get a few different guests on here that kind of embody somewhat of that Easter spirit and that theme. So tonight we've got Rich Henry from Rich Henry's Rabbit Ranch out of Staunton, Illinois. But before we bring him in, let's talk about a few things first. I'd like to do a little segment called Rich's Shirt of the Day, and I'm wearing it right now. The parsonage. I'll move out of the lower third there, right there. George the Fourth and George the Fifth is going to put up a picture of that shirt. That shirt comes from our last guest from episode 007, Jeremy Morris at the parsonage there in Red Oak 2 in Carthage, Missouri. He was so kind to join us last week. So if you want to check out that show, I just told you a few moments ago how to do that. He's full of entertainment. He's a showman. If you want to meet him in person, if you want to meet me in person, you can catch us this coming weekend on the 15th in Carthage, Missouri. The Missouri Route 66 Association will be having its quarterly meeting there in Carthage, and we're going to be doing a tour of Red Oak, the courthouse, and I'm sure you'll see Jeremy there. He's a great guy. He's doing a wonderful job there, keeping up the place there at Red Oak 2. And he's got all sorts of stuff up his sleeve, so you don't want to miss that. You really need to join us. It's only $10. It's the best $10 you can spend, and you're going to get to meet a lot of different people. So sign up at Missouri66.org and get your tickets there, and I'll see you this weekend. The next thing I want to talk about before we bring on our guest is a friend of mine, Louis Keene, from as the mayor of Uranus. Right now, he is kind of battling some really nasty cancer. He's got to go in for some surgery this week, and we need to keep him, his family, all of his employees and staff in our hearts and prayers, and until he can make a recovery from this and keep fighting this. So, yeah, Mayor Louis from Uranus, our hearts are with you, and we wish you a speedy recovery through all this. Nobody likes to see anybody go through what he's going through right now. So, okay, let's get back to the show. Before I bring in Rich, I'm going to ask you viewers out there to do me a favor. Would you please share the show? All you got to do is click that link, click that share button. If you're looking at YouTube or on Facebook, share it to some of the groups that are out there on Route 66, Historic 66 or Route 66 World. Get it out there for everybody to see, because we got a lot of great people to talk about, and I'd really appreciate that. So, all right, let's get to the show. It's Rich Henry. Here he is. Let's bring him out, guys. Hey, Rich, how's it going, man?
Doing good. Had a beautiful day and got one of our bunny rabbits to join us for the show.
What's his name or her name?
His name is Hubert, named after my father.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of rabbit is he?
He's a lionhead. I rescued him here in Staunton about 6 years ago, where somebody had dumped him.
Really?
Yeah.
In Staunton?
In Staunton.
I'll be darned. Well, if you're going to get dumped as a bunny in Staunton, that's the best place probably in the United States to get dumped.
I think he knew it.
Well, what inspired you to create the Rabbit Ranch?
Well, it just kind of happened. Two things happened in 99. When I first started this in 95, it was Henry's old Route 66 Emporium, kind of bland. So in 99, my father, Hubert, passed away, and he was responsible for getting me started on collecting Volkswagen Rabbit cars. So I inherited all of his personal vehicles. Between him and me, at that time, I had over 50. And
wow.
There's a picture of my dad and me in 1950. That's where I grew up at, in Pine Lawn. We lived on the same street as the Ted Drews family.
Really?
That's another story in itself. I won't get into it.
Huh.
But the other part of the bunnies also was in 99. About the same time my dad passed away, my youngest daughter, Emily, had 14 bunnies that kind of unexpectedly popped up from mom and dad. And so I took them all in. And at that point, I decided to change the name with the Bunny Rabbits and the Volkswagen Rabbits to Henry's Rabbit Ranch, and things have been hopping ever since. Yeah.
You said 14 rabbits.
Yeah. What happened there, she got her first one about this time of the year, Easter, bad time for rabbits. It's supposed to have been a female. 2 weeks later, she goes back and gets a second one that was a female. So 3 months later, mom and dad are having babies, and Emily procrastinated. And before it was all said and done, 4 litters were born and 14 kids.
They were reproducing like rabbits, so to speak.
Yeah. Every 30 days, people don't get a male and a female together.
You know, I understand that concept. I got 5 kids here at home.
Okay.
We finally figured out how to stop doing that. So what, tell me some about, because you're pretty much, you grew up down the street from the Ted Drews family.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about maybe your father and some of your earliest memories of Route 66, because it seems like Route 66 has been finding you.
It's been all around me. My dad worked for a company called BMAC, and all he did for the first 35 years of his driving career was go between Chicago and St. Louis, and then from St. Louis to Oklahoma City. And at that time, the trucking companies would allow their employees to take their children with them if they were notified in advance. So I spent many a miles in that truck that you first showed. It was a 1950 GMC Cannonball over on the passenger seat. And it was a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, the memories. And it even influenced me. I still have my Class A CDL. Anybody that's ever been here has seen my Campbell 66 tractor and trailers. And also we have a Henry Transportation 18-wheeler. So it's in the blood. Instead of, with my dad, one time they went to draw blood, and instead of blood, they had diesel fuel in his veins. That's the honest to God truth, I think.
So you got to ride shotgun across that bench seat of that cab over GMC truck, right?
Oh yeah, bouncing around many, many miles up to Chicago, down to Springfield, Missouri, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they went as far as Oklahoma City. Yeah.
What a hoot. I mean, I can identify with that because when I was a kid, probably, I don't know, I was probably 2 or 3 years old the first time I took a ride in my dad's dump truck. But you had it good, man. Like, you had a bench seat to sit on. You know what I had to sit on?
A crate?
An upside down bucket. And for years, when guys would mention the term bucket seats,
yeah,
I literally thought they were talking about an upside down bucket, because that's what I had to sit on riding in a dump truck, was an upside down bucket. I thought that was a bucket seat. Yeah, that's a cool truck, man. I tell you, that old cab over, man, that's highly desirable by today's standards.
Yeah, he drove it for 15 years.
Wow, that's a long time for something that age.
Yeah, but he worked on his own equipment. He welded broken frames and did his own overhaul a couple of times even. It was old school.
Yeah, I bet doing an overhaul on one of those trucks was difficult.
No, it was about like working on the old cars. Very simple. It just all the parts were a little heavier than the car engines.
Wow.
But yeah, a lot of stories. I mean, I could take up your whole program and then some, just elaborating on him and his mechanics.
So on all the sections of Route 66 that you guys drove on, what did you enjoy the most, you think?
Well, what I enjoyed the most, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I've been up in Illinois for 46 years, Missouri 30. And I like Missouri the best. I always have. I love the Missouri Ozarks. I can remember my dad, and that you can still drive on it. After you go past and get off of the Jerome exit headed westbound, you got that hill to go up. And he used to put a flare against his foot throttle and stand out on the edge holding the steering wheel, looking at his exhaust to see what was coming out of it. And I remember one time riding with him, I got so scared I thought he was going to fall out. But he did it all the time.
So he would prop the throttle pedal. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, with a flare. One end would be against the pedal and the other against under the dash.
I got you. Yeah. So he would basically shore up the pedal, so that the truck would keep throttling.
Yeah,
and then he would hang off of he would open the door of the truck as the truck was rolling down the highway,
going up the hill.
And he would check his exhaust.
Yeah, he'd look at it to see if there would be sparks or anything shooting out. because that would tell you if your engine was getting where it needed to be overhauled.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
bet. Metal to metal.
yeah,
So
uh,
there's Hooker Cut. We're looking
yeah.
at that. Did you guys ever drive Hooker Cut?
Oh, that's what you went over all the time.
Yeah.
And I even experienced it myself when I drove an 18 wheeler. I was making a casual trip for Yellow Freight one time, and I hadn't been out that way in a long time. And I start passing this other truck just as the downgrade starts. It was a Jones Truck Line truck, and he started speeding it up. So before I know it, we're going downhill. The tractor it was had a single air tank, so I started hitting the air brakes, and all of a sudden the warning light and buzzer comes on,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't think that hill was ever going to end. And I passed him. I couldn't even see his headlights, and I was so glad when it started leveling out. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, it was a
Well,
long
could you
one.
imagine driving that? Because you're talking about driving this section of road that we got up on the screen.
Yeah,
You're talking about driving one of the most modern sections of highway in the United States at the
at the
time.
time, yeah,
You
with the
know,
lip on the side though, the lanes are very narrow when you're in an 18 wheeler.
for
I
sure.
don't know if
You can
they're,
see the cars coming through here right now
yeah,
and how narrow it is.
yeah, but a lot of neat memories, especially when you survive something. It's,
Yeah.
it's easier to take.
Well, I was going to say, could you imagine driving the predecessor to this alignment? And I don't know if you know it or not, but I know the alignment, and it was twisty and
Yeah.
turny and hilly, and some of it wasn't even paved; it was still gravel.
Well, there was times in later years I'd make trips for my brother's trucking company, Henry Transportation.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when I'd be coming back from Springfield, Missouri on a Saturday, if I had extra time, I'd get off there at St. Robert's and cut over where you can pick up that section. And
Mm-hmm.
people would think I had to be lost. Here I am with a 53-foot trailer, 8.5 feet wide, and here's a guy with an 18 wheeler. But I knew exactly where I was going.
You missed it.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't literally. You were yearning for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, having drove 66 in cars and everything else, it was really advantageous going down to Springfield, Missouri and back when there would be a traffic jam on I-44. Right,
You'd hop off, and you
I
knew where
could
to
get
go.
off and get back on wherever I wanted to.
I still do that today. Honestly, when we were coming back out of South Dakota with the version 2 adventure truck,
Yeah,
that it was like 8 degrees outside and there was blinding snow, and they had the interstate. There was a big, huge accident and had the interstate shut down. And I was like, well, I know where I'm going.
yep. I'm not staying here.
Yep. Took all those old side roads home.
Oh gosh, it's more fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do a segment right now. I'm not sure if you've watched the show before or not, Rich, but we're going to do pick of the day here next.
Okay.
That's our picture of the day. Now, when we pull those photographs and stuff, these come right out of our Facebook group, 66 Minutes. So they're from audience members and viewers, and they just post random pictures and stuff. And there was a bunch to choose from. Actually, there was quite a few that I really liked. But this one really resonated with me because of who I am and what I'm into. Let's go ahead and put it up there, George.
Okay.
It's not coming through very well. Oh, there it is. That's a good, okay. So that's the old Highline Motel. That's in Ash Fork, Arizona. I knew it as soon as I saw it. It's been abandoned for ages. It's this really neat old motor court.
Mm-hmm.
And the picture is from, what is it, Brandon? Yeah, Brandon. And if I butcher it up, sorry, Brandon. Brandon Baragry, I think is how you pronounce his last name. Good photo, lots of good composition there in the clouds and everything, a little bit of HDR. but the place itself is really neat. I've taken a lot of photos of that place myself. And if you're into this might sound crazy to us older people, but for some of the younger people, if you're into tracking down old phone booths, look in the lower left-hand corner of this picture, and that little blue box, that's a phone.
Yeah.
That's a pay phone. You don't see those too often anymore. I thought that was cool. Old abandoned hotels and motels are neat. The whole city of Ash Fork, the whole town is really cool. And I've got a quirky little story about that place. We actually stayed right there, and I think 2015, myself, my acquaintance Nick Gerlich, and another close friend of mine, Jamie Jessup, we stayed at the Copper State Motel next door, which was, I mean, it looked like an old used car lot at the time. And I thought, I'm up for an adventure. We'll stay here. And Nick Gerlich, if he's watching right now, he would corroborate the story. He wanted to murder me for staying at. So, but hey, that's what memories are all about.
That's right. Making memories.
You ever get out that far to Ash Fork, Rich?
Well, I haven't been out that far since '93. That's the first time I went on 66 all the way to the Pacific Ocean.
Lots changed in 30 years.
I can imagine. That's what it sounds like. And
lots changed.
Yeah, 97 went as far as Albuquerque. But yeah, I maybe someday get back out. I don't know. I have too much.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
The road's always calling. Let's see here. Brandon also sent some other pictures in. He's got a little pin collection that maybe we could show the folks. I thought it was pretty cool because I've got a pin collection myself. They're going to pop it up here in a second. There it is. So he's got a bunch of those pins, those decorative pins there on his hat. He even said, I think this hat weighs about 50 pounds. There's so many pins on it. You sell a lot of those pins, don't you, Rich?
Yeah.
You got some of those in your souvenir shop, don't you?
Yeah, we have generic ones. Then we have specialty ones just for our Henry's Rabbit Ranch. Just like on the top of his hat there is our friends at the Jackrabbit Trading Post. Where it shows it. Here it is. Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of that stuff for souvenir items.
Yep, those are neat little collectibles. They usually cost anywhere from like $3 to $8, and they're fun, and they help the building, the shop owner out a little bit here and there. It's a couple bucks, but it's a neat little memento.
Oh yeah, memories.
Yeah. I got one last submission, and thank you, by the way, Brandon, for those submissions. Thanks for sharing those. And this one comes from Eric Dobbs. He's a buddy of mine down in Laclede County, and this is going to be a video, and this is talking about one of his recent rediscoveries at the Gasconade River Bridge. Let's go ahead and cue that video up, guys.
Good morning, everybody. It gives me great pleasure as an ambassador of Route 66 here at the Hazel Green Bridge on Route 66. Pam and I have traveled this whole country. It gives us great pleasure to introduce to you an old friend that some of you know very well, the Route 66 chair. It's back. It's on the Hazel Green Bridge, and it's ready for signatures, ready for autographs, people to sit in it and enjoy the chair once more. It's back at Hazel Green. Come see it, come sign it.
That was cool. The chair and the bridge, man, they've been through so much grief. We put the chair out there. I bought the chair. I had some friends of mine, the Jessups. They decorated the chair all up real nice. It's actually a really nice chair. I looked it up online. When I first got it, I got it off Craigslist. And that was a really expensive chair that somebody had bought, and I got it for like $30. But what was it? We had it out there at the bridge. We asked MoDOT if we could have it out at the bridge. They said, sure, that's fine. And they the thing went missing. Well, it turns out the conservation department that manages the boat ramp down there below the Gasconade Bridge they took the chair. And so I had to get on the phone with them and harass them a little bit. Well, they brought the chair back out. So then I chained up the chair to a guardrail, and somebody went through the efforts of cutting the chain, and the chair disappeared. And I think that was, let's see, it's 2023. That was probably 4 years ago that the chair went missing. Well, Pam and Eric, they're such great people. They go down to the bridge like once a week, and they weed eat and trim and keep everything really nice around the bridge. I mean, just great stewards of the road. And they look down in the ditch way down in the ravine, and they see the chair. And then, so they go fish the chair out of the weeds. They take it back home, and they kind of refurbish it, clean it up. And I just, what a great group of people there. It's just, so it's good to see the chair back on the bridge. We're still fighting for the bridge, and I think we're winning, but MoDOT keeps dealing us a fit. Every time we turn around, they pull the rug out from underneath us, and they just did some stuff to us last week. I don't even know what's going to happen, but the bridge is still there. They wanted to tear it down like 3 years ago. It's still there.
That's the Gasconade Bridge, right?
Yep.
Back in 71, when that was still Route 66 coming across it, it was only eastbound right through there.
Yeah, right. That was just the interstate lanes are out there, but only for westbound.
Yeah. I remember traveling that.
That's kind of a spooky bridge. I can imagine how many mirrors were lost on that bridge with trucks meeting up with each other.
Well, before they made it one lane, yes. But once they made it one lane, that ended the mirrors getting knocked off.
Yeah, you could stagger yourself a little bit.
Exactly.
Yep.
Hog both lanes.
I remember my dad crossing over the old bridge in St. Charles. Did you ever drive over that old bridge there off on the Missouri River?
Many a time, from 69 to about 79.
Okay.
Same as the Alton Bridge. And then
yeah. Both spooky.
The Chain of Rocks Bridge. I used to drive across that.
How many times did you lose mirrors?
None on the Chain of Rocks Bridge.
Huh.
The only time I never lost a mirror on a bridge. If you drove an International Transtar, they had a bracket that extended out and protected the mirror.
Okay.
And that would keep it from breaking. It might knock it back into the door, but once you got off the bridge, you just pushed it back out.
Yeah, fold it back up. Yeah. I remember one time, my dad, almost every time we'd cross that bridge, he had an old Chevy C60. 1964 Chevrolet C60 dump truck, and he'd get on that bridge, and another truck would be coming, and he'd usually grab that mirror and crank it in.
Yeah.
And one time he was too late, and it was just pow, glass everywhere. It was, oh man, he was so mad.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So anyway, a lot of people are familiar with some of the things I do, like the adventure truck. And Rich and I, we met before the adventure truck was built, but I was just a lowly little tourist at the time. He wouldn't remember me, I wouldn't think. But one time in 2010, I camped out in front of your place or down the street from your place in the back of the adventure truck. And then I came out there first thing in the morning, I think.
On a Sunday.
This is a long time ago. And I said, hey, Rich Henry. You're like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, I really need you to sign my truck. Tell me a little bit about that story.
Well, Rich, I do have a good memory still. And we talked inside for a little bit, and you said, well, would I mind signing your hood? And I said, well, sure. So we go walking out, and you kind of walked around towards the back of it. And I saw this nice, big, beautiful hood on the front of it. It looked like it had just been all redone. And I didn't think nothing about that. I thought you had a hood in the back. So when I walked around, I didn't see no hood in the back of your adventure truck. I said, well, where's the hood? You said, well, the one on the front. You mean that nice looking hood? I can't begin to do it. And nobody else had signed it yet. You gave me the privilege And you got me there. You got it in the picture there of being the first one to sign it. I felt that was a real honor. I still do.
You were the first one. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, memories. That's what is really neat.
That's right.
Oh gosh, but that's
Yeah.
honest to God truth, people. The story on the adventure truck hood and how it first got started.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
And people are still signing it. I wouldn't say to this day, but to this time and age. When we had the relighting at the Shamrock last year, because there were so many of my close friends there that I put the hood back on the truck and drove it down there. And I think we captured another probably dozen signatures from various roadies and important people on Route 66. The hood's pretty full. I'm actually looking at it right now off to the side of my room here. It hangs on my wall. I'm so careful with that hood because there's so many people on there now that aren't with us anymore.
I know.
That all it takes is just one strategic bird to throw a dropping down and it'll take this off. And
I remember one of your signatures on there is Dave Wickline.
Sure.
So Dave drove this. This is how neat of a roadie this guy is, all the way from somewhere by Columbus, Ohio, out to your house somewhere to sign it. Because then on his way back on a Sunday, he just stopped by here and say, "Hey, how you doing?" This is the neat thing with these Route 66 people, and I hate to start mentioning names because if I don't mention everybody, then somebody might feel slighted. But there are so many unique people out there, and anymore it's just the regular traveler.
Yeah,
they're all part of it.
Yeah. Dave Wickline made that trip. He got in his car one day and made a purpose trip to come sign that hood. And it's the strangest thing. For the longest time, I was trying to capture all these signatures of people that I idolized and looked up to and respected. And I thought, okay, after I get this person, the hood will be done. And then somebody else would pop up. And I'd be like, okay, after I get this person, the hood will be done. And then one day it just occurred to me. I said, the hood will never be done.
No.
So long as there's Route 66 and there's enthusiasts, the hood will never be done. There's always a reason to induct somebody. That is the Hall of Fame for Route 66ers. At least in this day and age, there's a lot of people that aren't on there who I wish that were because they're not with us anymore. But yeah, it's.
Did you sign the hood yet?
I finally did. I was very, very reluctant.
No, you should not be reluctant. I'm glad to hear you signed it.
After we did the neon relighting at the Shamrock, I signed it that night. I thought, you know what, this is worthy of being notated in the Route 66 history books, resurrecting a motel, and. Myself along with my wife, and her help, and I've done a lot of things, but I wanted to solidify it. I wanted to make sure that I was worthy of being on that hood with everybody else. And so I chose that.
Everything that you've done, even before the motel, I'm very happy to see what you've done. Not just Missouri, all the way out to California, up to Chicago.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you.
Well, thank you.
In all the years you've been playing with Route 66, it's been a long time. What were some of your favorite places on Route 66?
Well, favorite locations. Bill Shea. Bill was one hell of a neat guy. I first met Bill in 1994 up at Tom Teague's house.
That's another good guy.
Yeah. And a lot of good memories on Tom, too. I was pallbearer at Tom's funeral. But Bill, we became very good friends. On Monday, when he would be off, him and his wife, Helen, a lot of times would stop by here as he was out scouring the countryside for artifacts. And every time Bill would come in, we have a signature book in our place here I'd always ask him to sign it. And he said, well, I signed it the last time. I said, I will sign it again. Just typical Bill. And probably one of the biggest compliments that I've ever had was in 2012, the state of Illinois tourism did a commercial for Illinois tourism. And most of it was just stationary places like the Red Brick Road, other things. But there was only 3 people included in it. And that was Bill Shea, Buzz Waldmire, and myself holding Big Red. So,
that's awesome.
Unfortunately, Bill and his wife had to go into an assisted living home up in, I think it was Auburn. So one day I'm up there visiting him and Helen, and the 2 of them are sitting in this little love seat, like 2 little lovebirds. It was really neat. And when I walked in, there they are in it. So I pulled up a chair and sat next to them. So we're sitting there. All of a sudden, this commercial starts playing. It was only a 30-second commercial on the TV in the room there for a family to meet with their loved ones. So I said, Bill, just a second, that commercial is playing. So it gets through the part, but they showed Bill first, then it went to me and Big Red, and then Buzz Waldmire. So then it ended. So I said, boy, wasn't that neat? He's off seen it several times. But to be sitting there next to him as this commercial was playing was priceless.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
The picture we have on the screen right now was one of those TV sets that I think his son put together with his dad's picture in it. And I inherited a lot of stuff from the Shays Museum.
Yeah.
They had that auction back in 2015 after Bill had died. They sold off everything, and I still have a bunch of the stuff that I got from the auction. Those TV sets, they were going to throw them in the trash. And I grabbed them. I think I actually gave like $5 or $10 for the pair or something like that. And I held on to them for a long time, and I ended up giving them to Jeff Fulgenzi up there in Springfield, who's just down the street. He put them back into the display. He bought the little prefab gas station that Bill Shea had.
Meehan's gas station.
Yep. And then up on the screen right there's another one of the things I had inherited from Bill Shea's, and we got it up at your place now.
Yeah, I was totally surprised, and every time I look at it, I think of you, and was it Lily?
That's right. That's Lily. She's 14 now, going on 25.
Yeah, stopping by took me totally by surprise. It was on a Sunday. We unloaded it with my Ford tractor. They had a loader on the front, and I didn't know where to put it. And then all of a sudden, it just fit in perfect, and it's still in that same location today.
Yeah, it's such a neat piece that they put together. Maybe the footage isn't great, but you see below the stop sign for those viewers out there, those little balls, those aren't cannonballs. Rich, tell the viewers what those are.
Well, those are, these will set them up in place of flares.
Smudge pots.
Yeah. And
smudge pots.
Along the highway where there was construction, they'd light them at night so that people would maybe not drive off into the construction area.
That's right.
Yeah. And Bill and his son, Bill Jr., constructed that themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, so many neat things that Bill did up there. You know what the state flower is for Illinois?
I don't.
Okay, you know those orange construction cones they set up, the safety cones?
Yeah.
That's what Bill called the Illinois state flower. And he would
That's a good one. I like that.
He'd tell the state people that. He didn't care. Bill was
pretty good.
One of the neatest. Back when Bill was opening there, and if somebody would ask me, if they could only see one place on all of 66, Chicago to California, Bill's place is the one I would recommend.
Yeah, it was
awesome. But it
was
wasn't
a great museum.
It was Bill. And these people, when you travel, it's not the place unless there's nobody there. It's the people at the place.
That's right. All the
That you,
stories and the
yeah,
history that they can tell.
that you got to see.
Yeah. There's
There's
Bill
Bill.
right there. We've got him up. I think he signed the hood. I think right after you. I think he was number 2. Him and his son Bill signed the hood.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel honored to have him sign it after me.
Well,
What a neat guy.
Yeah, it really was. And somebody's probably going to ask about the Route 66 shield on that hood. That's not the shield I wanted when I had it put on there. I was in a hurry. When I did this particular trip, I was on the road for about 6 weeks, and my wife was 8 months pregnant, and I know, man, I couldn't pull it off today. So
better not.
yeah, yeah, no kidding. So I was like, they put that shield on the hood, and I said, that's not the shield I wanted. That's reversed, and so. I traveled with that shield on the hood from St. Louis to Chicago and back. And when I got back, I stayed home for 1 day, and they put the new shield on the hood that's still on it today. And the white on black, the black on white instead of whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a neat piece of history. It was really neat meeting Bill, and you take for granted those people because they've just always been there. But at some point, they're not going to be, and it's just kind of a bummer because you drive by there now, and you would never hardly know that there was anything there.
No, it's just the memories that we have, Rich.
Yeah. Take lots of pictures, everybody. That kind of gets us into our tip of the day. The tip of the day, I'm going to see if Rich can guess what it is. So how can I articulate this? What's the fastest way to lose friends and make enemies on the internet?
On the internet.
Yeah, or even in person, but more so on the internet.
I guess to suggest that they use the interstate.
Well, okay. I thought you were going to guess this. It has to do with a 2-party system.
Oh my gosh. Start talking politics.
That's it. That's
it.
No,
the only time we get political here, and I got a sticker hanging up on my window where people can see it, is I get political for animals.
Right.
And I have a sign that hangs up sometimes. It says, please, no discussion on religion or politics. On Route 66 or bunnies, that's okay. Yeah.
We can all get along on Route 66, it seems like. It's the political talk and stuff, it's very divisive.
We don't need it.
Yeah, I've never, I've been playing around on the computers, and like I told you earlier today when we did our pre-meeting, since I was a teenager, there was no internet, but yet we had this thing that was like a pre-internet where you use the phone to dial up. And since that time, since I was about 12 years old, starting out in computers, I don't think I've ever in my life seen anyone change anybody else's mind on the internet. You're not changing anybody's mind, and I've never seen a keyboard warrior ever win any real battles. So that's my tip for the day is, life's too short. We all have our political affiliations or beliefs, but on Route 66, we can kind of leave those behind and just enjoy each other's company and have a good time with everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of political stuff, you had a rabbit once that ran for president, didn't you?
Yeah. Her name was Montana, and she was a little all black bunny. By 2008, when she ran, she was up in age, and people would ask her, why was she running for president? And this is the only time I talk politics. And keep in mind, she was a female black bunny, and she was old. So her response, the way she would convey it to people, she'd say, and if you remember in 2008, you had Obama and Hillary Clinton both wanting to be president, and you had John McCain. So Montana would tell the people, she says, well, I'm black like Obama, I'm a female like Hillary Clinton, and I'm old like John McCain. They would get the biggest kick out of that.
That's funny.
Yeah, she even had a campaign manager.
You
So, and that's a story for another time. I could just go on and on that.
For the longest time, I had a vote for Queen Montana on the side of my truck with all my other stickers. It eventually wore off and fell off, but it stayed on there for a long time.
Well, with your new adventure truck, if you're collecting stickers, remind me and I'll give you one for it.
I will. That'll be great. I appreciate that. So, George, how are we doing on the live chat? We got anybody who's commenting or anything like that? We want to pop the live chat up?
Yeah, I'm going to pop the live chat up, and I'm going to pop a couple things up while we do that. Because, let's see here. We got, here.
You want to show some video? Oh, what? Hold on a second. Oh, all right.
You were successful. We popped back up the name. We were asked the name of the rabbit, Hubert, right?
Oh, yeah.
We got that right. And here's one for you because there's a little fear going on. Where is it at? It's the calmest rabbit ever. Is it alive?
Is it alive?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, here, let me see. There's Hubert. He don't say much. You know, one thing about rabbits, they're good listeners because they're all ears and they don't say anything.
He looks
Angie
pretty
believes happy. Angie actually believes it's because Rich is the rabbit whisperer.
Okay. Maybe more so when I was younger. Yeah. Yeah. To date, I've probably had, and they're all rescue bunnies. We never raised them, bred them, or anything. We've had over probably 75 bunny rabbits here.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got the chat going live. If you guys want to talk about the bunny ranch, I know I'm excited. I've not been to the bunny ranch. My kids have been to the bunny ranch. I've not been to the bunny ranch.
Well, we could bring George V up and see what he thought about the rabbit ranch over there.
Sure.
Here's the other George for anyone that's ever wondering. You need to get down. You look like a giant next to me. This is my little kid.
That's George number 5.
Let's hope number 5 carries on to number 6.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's not forced. It's fine. If he wants to, he can. And if he doesn't,
I know.
He doesn't have
it's
to.
His life.
Yeah, the last time they were out there, I'm going to go ahead and share that right there for you.
Okay.
He was a little bit younger.
A little cuter
than this guy right here.
Where was that? That's the thing. It's been so long. Because Mom was asking about it earlier.
Mom doesn't. All I know is Anthony's hair is way longer than that.
No, I'm just trying to remember when I got the jacket. That was like 2018, 19.
You're basing
on the bunny in that one picture with the 2 young children. That was Hubert. Yeah.
Oh, you've met Hubert.
Yeah, that's Hubert there.
Wow.
Yeah, Hubert's, I guess, the replacement for Montana.
That's awesome.
Is that one running for any official office then?
No, they don't want to get involved in politics.
Right, that was the tip. No more politics.
They say it's not worth the bullshit.
I didn't have a bleeper fast enough for that.
That was our first curse word on the program. Rich Henry's another first.
First signature, first curse word goes to Rich Henry. Congratulations.
Not worth it to us. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No apologies. It's great. First all the way around the board, and then you guys got a mini Cadillac Ranch there. The boys,
the takeoff from the Cadillac Ranch down in Amarillo.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what my youngest is doing, but it looks really cool. We got
those are Volkswagen Rabbits there.
All right.
Yeah, and that sign there in the picture, we replaced the panels on it last year, and it's a difference of day and night now. It just jumps out at you. That top panel there, the bottom one, had a lot of hard years of weathering on them.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
We'll have to come up and see that. I'd like to stop by and see the sign.
Yeah, it's really beautiful now.
Everybody needs to stop up there. I'll be coming through in about a week and a half, I think. 2 weeks I'll be coming through.
Well, let me know your itinerary because I don't want to miss you.
Well, I'll be going up and coming back, so I'll catch you one way or the other. You're going to see me on the return trip for sure. You can be guaranteed on that. There's a few questions on here.
Sure.
Let's see here. Somebody asked about the longest road trip I've ever taken. On 66, it's been 6 weeks. In life, it's been 3 months. We went to Alaska once. We drove up to Alaska and turned around and came back, and that was a 3-month trip. I saw a few other questions too. Best month to travel, Route 66. My favorite month to travel Route 66 personally is November, but then I'm an oddball and I'm not into all the touristry stuff. And I like the light that we get where the sun is real low on the horizon. It makes for better photographs, and you don't have to deal with chiggers and snakes and other biting insects and things like that. So yeah, November is one of my favorite months.
We got another one from the picture that was taken here. This is an earlier one. 61 Katie on Route 66. Want to know the name of the motel sign? Rich, I don't know. Do you know the name of that motel sign?
The Stanley Cortell signs. Those, I was just a caretaker for them. They belonged to a group that was called Friends of the Mother Road. Kip Wilbarn and his people. And about 4 or 5 years ago, they found a new home, and they're supposed to be being restored and eventually put up at some kind of neon sign mobile home place, I think in Waynesville.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
St. Robert.
St. Robert's.
And for those of you that like to stir the pot, why don't you call the mayor down at St. Robert and ask him where that neon park is, because we were supposed to have it built by like 4 or 5 years ago. And we can't get hardly any traction from him. And he's got a lot of signs that we've helped him get restored. And there's no sign in sight for the sign park. Nothing's happened. So we're not sure what's going on, but we sure would like to see a sign park. Tulsa's got theirs, and it's beautiful. It would be neat if we could get one established in Missouri. But yeah, that's where the Cortell sign's supposed to go. Yeah. And I've seen the Cortell sign. I've got pictures of it, and I wish I'd thought about it. I would have had them ready to pull up, but the sign is beautiful looking right now.
Yeah. All the restored ones?
Yeah, the Cortell. Yeah, the Cortell sign. I haven't seen the other ones. I saw the Cortell one in person when I picked up the Shamrock sign. Same guy. He did both signs.
What's his name? Hudson in St. Louis?
Well, it's David Hudson and Don Mormon. Mormon. Yeah,
that's neat.
Yep. Yeah. So
shout out
somebody
to Kay
mentioned
Black. Kay Black is listening to us while on the road, driving and listening.
That's great.
So you'll have to watch later to see all the visual aids. But thank you for driving on the road and listening. We did get confirmation. They are not driving 66. They are just driving, but it doesn't matter. Okay. You're in the car and you're listening, and we love you for that.
Well,
and keep one eye on the road too.
Yeah. Thanks, Kathy. I saw something else about the Shamrock. So for those of you interested in the Shamrock, I am still working on it. We did quite a bit of work on it back in February. I skipped March. I'm going back out there on the 17th. I'm going to be out there the entire week. Let me pull up my calendar here so I can get the dates. Monday through Friday. So the 17th through the 21st, I'll be back out at the Shamrock doing work. And for those that want to volunteer out there or just stop by, feel free. I'll be out there the whole time.
I expect a montage video and pictures of everybody there helping him work so that I can see it all, because I will be working for him, so I won't be able to go and see it. So I need a montage of all you guys going down and giving Rich a hand.
Yeah, and Jorge's in there. He's commenting. I can't wait to see him in person. He's always commenting. He says thanks for doing the videos and stuff, and we should arrange a massive rally. That would be really cool. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on there. Hey, Rich, at your rabbit ranch, you've got a very special car there. It's a white car. Can you tell me a little bit about that car and who it belonged to?
Yeah, it belonged to Bob Waldmire. It's a 1967 Volkswagen Type 3 station wagon. And he drove that car from 1972 when he bought it up in Springfield till 1985 when he bought the van that's up in the Pontiac Museum now. And I got some pictures here that some of his brothers gave me after Bob passed away. And that picture there was before I got the box that goes on top of the car. The box came, I got the car. Let's see, Bob died in December of 2009. I got the car in September of 2010. And the following summer, Buzz got this box that sits on the top of the car now, probably around June of 2011. So it complemented, it finished the car off.
Was it a box that Bob had built to put on there to carry his supplies and stuff?
His storage, yes. Yeah, Rich. So it really, and we have it underneath a metal carport to kind of help protect it from deteriorating any more than it had. After Bob parked it in 85, it sat up at the Rochester Waldmire family homestead outside. So it really took a toll, but hey, Bob was letting it go back to Mother Nature like he would have wanted.
Yeah. I've never seen one of those cars. And then this is what I felt intriguing about the car was all of his bumper stickers underneath the hood. And that's still a rear engine car, isn't it?
Yes, it was. Air code, motor in the rear. Yeah.
I've never even seen one of those cars, I don't think, besides the one that you have.
Well, an interesting story in those bumper stickers, I didn't even know they were there. Once I got the car unloaded, I hadn't even unloaded it. It was still sitting on my flatbed trailer on the side of my building. And Jim Ross, Shelley Graham, and Jerry McClanahan were coming back from picking up a sign up north of here that Jim restored since. And I showed him the car. So Jerry says, well, what's under the hood up front? So I don't know. Let's see if I can pop the hood. So I opened the driver's door and popped the hood. So to my amazement, the same as the three of them, was the first time we saw it. And it was just breathless seeing those stickers that Bob had placed on there. And they're all pretty much Bob's philosophy of saving the planet, conservationist. One of the bumper stickers on the back bumper of the car says, you cannot hug a child with nuclear arms. So it is Bob all over. So yeah, and it sits out, people can see it even if we're closed.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All the references to Bob and, I feel like, and I've told this to a lot of different roadies and people along 66 that he and I would have been kindred spirits. I mean, I'm not artistic, but the stickers, the traveling 66, even like I found out later, I did the signature on the hood for the adventure truck. I found out later after that he did the same thing to his 66 Mustang, and where he had people sign the whole car. And it's just crazy. I keep hearing about all this stuff, and I never got a chance to meet him. I felt horrible, and I never went to go meet him because I was so introverted about Route 66 at the time. And but I feel like even though I never met him, that we would get along great.
Oh, you would have. You would have never got away from him.
So Bob was an artist. We're gonna bring up one of his pictures here.
Yeah, he was a hippie from the 60s.
Yes, and his portrayal was made in the movie Cars as the character Fillmore.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the whole story, but according to people that knew Bob, he didn't want any credit or didn't want to give Disney or Pixar a release because supposedly, this is what I heard, that he was afraid they would market toys and things like that. They would put toys in the Happy Meals, and he was a vegetarian and he was against
That's it.
that. So
That was the story Bob told me.
yeah,
You know, you'd have a Happy Meal McDonald hamburger, and being vegetarian, Bob passed on the deal. And you got to respect the guy for standing to his principles and not giving in to the money grab.
yep,
Yeah.
lots of integrity there. I can respect.
You talked about never meeting Bob, but I know you know Gary Turner real well. And
oh yeah,
and Gary and me would talk every week, but I never met the guy. He would call up and say, "Hey, are you getting many travelers through?" And we would talk at least once a week. And I tried getting him. He would not leave his place because he didn't want to miss any travelers. Well,
right.
back in October of 2012, Cuba was having an October Route 66 Fest. I said, Gary, why don't you get up to Cuba? That'd be about halfway for him and me. And I kick myself now. I wish when I went to that thing, I would have drove down to Gabe Farida and met Gary, but I never personally met him. But I talked to him, oh my God, endless times.
You guys had a bit of an underground communication network with other roadies. You guys would kind of report to each other, wouldn't you?
We would. He'd call me and we'd talk, and he'd start coughing. I got to cut these damn cigarettes out. And I said, Gary, why do it now? But and I know you probably, other than his own family, probably knew him better than anybody, which is neat.
Well, he was a great guy. I mean, honestly, he's the reason why I'm here right now. You know,
Yeah.
he said, you got to be an ambassador. Otherwise this thing will die. You know,
Exactly.
if
Friends for
people
life.
don't pick up the torch, it won't keep going on.
No.
Yeah. He was a great guy.
Nice. He reminded me of a young Bill Shea. You know, Bill in Illinois, Gary in Missouri. It was great when those two guys were there for the travelers.
Yeah, just a fantastic guy. You know, there's so many great groups. You know, you mentioned Tom Teague earlier,
Yeah.
and for those of you who have never heard of Tom Teague, you need to write this down right now. It's called Searching for Route 66.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 editions of that book. You got to read them because it's his account of going out on Route 66 and trying to find Route 66, but also trying to find the spirit of Route 66. And he meets all these interesting people and goes all these places on 66. It just so happens that one of the pieces I purchased from the Bill Shea auction was this giant concrete anchor with an old gas station light pole attached to it. It's one of these apparatuses that probably Bill and Bill Jr. built, you know, because they built a lot of stuff. And in that concrete is etched Bill Shea and Tom Teague in that concrete, etched in that concrete, you know, scribed in there with a stick or whatever while the concrete was wet. One of my most prized possessions, I think.
Well, Bill's hours of operation was Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 4, Saturday, 8 to noon, never on Sunday, and closed on Monday. That was what he had posted. And Tom and Bob Waldmire, they would stop by on Saturday mornings at Bill's, and regular 3-way conversationalists. And Carl Johnson, it was another one sometimes.
That's
that
another
would be
one.
there. And oh my gosh, they were 66 at its best.
Yeah, we just lost Carl. What, about 4 or 5 years ago?
No, it was December 5th of 2012.
Was it? Oh my gosh, it's been over 10 years ago.
Yeah, he was at the Missouri Motor Tour that year in 2012 out at the Merrimack Caverns, where it was stopped on Saturday night. And that was the last time I saw Carl.
Wow. Yeah, he got really sick all of a sudden, didn't he?
He just went downhill almost overnight.
Wow. Well, we're kind of winding down, Rich.
Okay.
You know, I got to have you on again at some point. We got to talk about more stuff. You know, there's a giant fiberglass rabbit we could talk about. We could talk about the Campbell's trucks and all sorts of stuff. But I really appreciate you coming on tonight. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the folks out there, maybe about the rabbit missions or anything?
You know, just get out and see the things, see the people. A lot of places are still, even if they're closed, they're good photo ops. If people happen to be closed, don't be upset with them and give them a 1 or 2 star Google rating, because that hurts.
I agree.
You know, but just enjoy it. And friends don't let friends drive the interstate. Life begins at the exit ramp. And I know sometimes from A to B is necessary. You got to do the interstate so you can have more time for doing Route 66 later. So that's about it. You know, don't be bashful. Walk in the place because if they're open, somebody's there.
If somebody wants to donate to rabbit rescue missions, can you tell them where to go to do that?
Yeah, we have in our office here 2 locations where they can put excess change in there. Another thing, all my bunnies, I'm affiliated with the House Rabbit Society out of St. Louis. If you go to rabbit.org, then hit on the St. Louis chapter, on there you can donate directly. And it is tax deductible. They're a 501c3. And but we have a lot of fun here. We hope to keep doing it as long as I can. So enjoy 66. Meet the people.
Yeah.
Get involved. Volunteer.
That would be so important. And I've tried to tell people, no matter where you're at, you can get involved. Even if you just send somebody $5, you know, get involved with one of the 8 associations or any of the various fundraisers or anything. Get out there. Yep.
Take out memberships. I'm a lifetime member, and a lot of them don't offer it anymore, of both Missouri and Illinois. And take out an annual membership, individual family membership. I mean, the things, the Missouri thing that you guys put out, I got it right here. I just got it recently. It's a beautiful magazine. It's quality. It's something worthy of sitting on your dining room coffee table.
Yeah. And a lot of people collect them. A lot of people are trying to find back issues. They're wonderfully produced magazines. Joe Sonderman and his staff does a great job putting those together. You can't get a better value for what it costs, at least in the Missouri Association. We put out probably one of the best publications there are on Route 66.
It is. Everything I've seen, Rich, it's the best. It's quality. Even the gauge and the texture of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's very heavy duty. Yes.
Well, thanks for advocating for that. I appreciate that, because the Missouri Association could always need more members. Every state association needs more members. So everybody get out there and join as many as you can. Join the one that you love the best. Rich, thanks for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're going to have you on again. Anything else?
No, just get out, and it's getting warm out. Don't sit there on the couch saying, I want to do this. Just do it.
That's right. Just get out and do it. Life's short. Okay, Rich, thanks for joining us. I'll see you later.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. Okay, folks, you ran a little long, but that's okay. I think it was worth it. If you get a chance, again, like Rich talked about, it would be great to see you guys join one of our associations. We are, for the Missouri Route 66 Association, this fall in September, we're going to be stopping at his place. We're actually starting in Litchfield, Illinois, and we're going to make our way west to Cuba over the course of a couple days. You can click the QR code down below me there, and join us for that. It's going to be a great time. Everybody that joins one of these motor tours, they always come back and they always brag to all their friends about what a great time they had and all the great people that they met. And it's just all about making memories and experiencing the road for what it is. You get to see old America out there. So if you get time, please think about donating to our cause, 66 Minutes. We can't do this alone. This show costs us quite a bit of money, but I pay for it out of my pocket, and it's just kind of my goodwill to humanity. But all donations are very, very helpful. We'd appreciate them. And see here. Next week, we're going to be keeping in with spirit of the rabbits. We're going to have Cindy and Tony on from the Jackrabbit Trading Post from Joseph City, Arizona. So you don't want to miss that. That'll be next Sunday. What else can we talk about here before I sign off? Oh yeah. Share the video. If you're interested in finding old videos, go to the YouTube channel. Any suggestions you want to leave, put those in the 66 Minutes Facebook group. We're also looking for viewer videos all the time. If you want to upload those viewer videos to the Facebook group, we'll take them from there, just like we did from Eric Dobbs. We really appreciate that. Anything you want to share with us, we'll try to put it on the show. Please donate to the show. Please share the show, and really appreciate it. If you have show ideas, I'd like to hear what those are. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Roman Rich. As always, go your own way. I'll see you guys down the road.